Potatoes are boiled using pressure. If the pressure becomes too much, you will notice it pushing the lid up so the steam and water may escape. In change, you and I are the potatoes, and the circumstances of change is the pressure inside the pot. Yes, stick with me here at the Blossoming Speaker podcast, and I will share different perspectives to achieve lasting confidence in life. In this boiling potato example, there are many things I may pull out to speak about. Yet I will speak about one, the change of who you are due to the change you are facing. When you boil a potato, it transforms its state from raw to cooked. It required pressure for it to transform. I relate that pressure to change and see it in this example as an opportunity to transform our state of identity. This transformation process is tough because in this pressure of change, we are at a state of ambiguity because we are no longer who we used to be and have not yet become who we are transforming into. So, on top of this cooking pressure, we add to it by worrying about how to communicate, how to show up. We are battling fear that we unintentionally open the door to. And these added pressures cause our pot to overboil, spilling out to other areas of our life. I explored this to come up with some solutions and realized many solutions do not focus on removing the lid off the pot. What I mean is, many of the valuable training and solutions available to teach you presence under pressure, for example, how you regulate your emotions, adapt your voice and body language techniques, ways to do quick and resilient decision making, and processing stress, these focus on the potato but not the lid. For example, when I notice my pot of potatoes starting to boil over, I do not train the potatoes to adapt in that situation. I instead take the lid off or provide an opening for that pressure to be reduced. I discovered through observations and in my own experience, these trainings and solutions that are focused on presence are great and they work, but I discovered it is not lasting because the removing of the lid component is missing. It looks like doing all the great work and effort, having some relief, but there is still a continuous buildup of pressure that eventually leads to a burnout. When I started doing the work on removing the lid so the pressure may also be reduced, I started receiving lasting benefits that complemented the work I did on presence. The lid work is all about discovering how you can still be you while you are transforming. When change is transforming who you are and you are in the process of this change, there is a gap of uncertainty between who you used to be and who you are becoming. This creates additional pressure on top of the pressure of change, and we continue to add to this pressure. This additional pressure comes from fear. When I realized that fear is protecting the version of you that no longer fits, it is almost like I could see the lid opening. This is how it increases the existing pressure. Here is an example of how it increases the existing pressure. The pressure that a change in your work, in your personal life, in your hobby that is shaping who you are becoming does not serve or respond to the old version of you. Yet here is fear in your mind clouding your clarity and self-belief as it forces you to grip onto the older version of you because it is familiar. This creates a clash, and this clash intensifies the pressure, making it harder to explore ways to adapt your communication style through the change, making you feel fake as you show up because you are holding on to the old version of you while you are in a situation that demands the growth into your new version of you. The fear was never really about not knowing who you are becoming. The fear was letting go of the old version of you. This is what created the extra pressure and impacted your presence as the water in your pot boiled over, spilling into other areas of your life. This is where I found grief and gratitude as great partners to help us through this. When we grieve our old version, while still being grateful for all it did to get us to this very moment, this is how we release fear's grip over us, and hence that extra pressure is reduced. It is how we remove the lid. And then, before we realize, our state has changed and we have become